All right, welcome to video 2 of the Creating a Virtual Island Tour app using Thunkable. Hopefully by now you have a screen 1 with an image in a canvas that is your map of your island. And you also should have different locations on top of that island that when a user is visiting your app or using your app, they will tap on so that they can see more details about that specific location. So remember, all of these have different names. This happens to be ball 3. And on the right-hand side, I can see the location of that. Remember to, when you click on one, to retype in over here to kind of solidify where that particular ball is going to stay. So once that is done and you have all of your balls and you have all of your screens made that relate to them, what we need to do is code these particular balls to go to the new screens that you just made. So we're actually going to go into the blocks category here, or the blocks section of Thunkable. And I want you to take a second with a partner or somebody sitting next to you, and I want you to see if you could figure out how you could get when those when a particular ball is pressed, that it opens a new page. All right, did you figure it out? So for me, ball 3 is the one that I want to open my exports page. So I'm going to go to this block right here, when ball 3 dot touched. So when that ball is touched, we want to go to the control category because we want to control it. So we're going to scroll down to where it says open another screen. And then it says screen name. We have to find a way to put the screen name after this. We want to tell it what screen to open. So I'm actually going to go to text so I can type something in. And I want the empty text box, which is all the way at the top of that category. And I'm going to type in the name of my page. So for this one, it's going to the exports page. And I have to type it in exactly the way I typed it in up here. Even if I made a spelling error, I have to make the same spelling error. The computer doesn't know how to spell, it knows how to match letters. So that's what we're doing. You can actually right click on this and duplicate it and change the drop down to be all of your different ball locations that you have on your map. And you can change it to be these text boxes to be the pages that you want them to go to. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'll pause the video. You guys do it too, and then we'll continue working. Okay, so now you should have all of your balls in this page right here, and when they are, it should say when ball 3 touched, open another screen, screen name exports, and then all the other balls should be here with the pages that are going to be opened when a user taps on those. So now what we need to do is create the pages. Well, we have the pages, we need to put content on those pages. So let's go to our exports page, or I'm going to go to mine. And what did we want on our export page? Well, I have a title, some text, a picture, a button, and a sound element. So that's a lot. Let's start with the label for a title. So I'm going to do a label, and I'm going to, that's a picture. So if you make a mistake like this and you drag over a block you don't want, just make sure that it's highlighted right here under components and click delete. So here I go. I'm going to grab a label, and I'm going to scroll down to text and put in the title of my page, which on this page is exports. You can totally change the size and font of this if you want. I'm not going to bother with that right now. I'm then going to put another label underneath it that has my information in it. So the main export of adventure, oh, I should capitalize my island, shouldn't I? Adventure island is fish. I might add a little more than that. And remember, if the content goes off the edge of the screen, that's okay. When we test it, you will be able to see it. Then I'm going to put a picture in there. Now, to find a picture that I can legally use that's copyright friendly, I'm going to follow these steps. Try to stick with me here. We're going to open a new tab and click Images. In the bottom right-hand corner, we're going to click Settings and then Advanced Search. There are two things we need to fill out on this page, the top line and the bottom line by usage rights right here. So I'm going to type in fish in the top line. That's my search term. And down here, I want to find pictures that are free to use or share even commercially. We don't want to be stealing anyone's images, especially if they don't want us to use them. So these are all different pictures I can use. I like this one. So when I find an image that I like, I will right click on it, save image as. You might want to call it something that you'll remember, like fish for me. And it's going to save down here to my downloads bar. Now I can go back to Thunkable and drag an image icon over. This time I actually want the image icon. There we go. And I'm going to go over to picture and upload, just like I did for the map, but this time I'm looking for that picture I just saved from a Google image search. And there we go. If we want to change the size of that picture, mine's a little bit too big. I'm going to go over here. Like I said, I think this is probably about 400, maybe this is 300. So I'm going to do 200 pixels for height, and width, I might do the same thing. Let's see what happens if I do that. Oh, not big enough. So I'm going to do width 300, and height, I'm actually going to make that maybe 150. And sometimes if it doesn't listen to you, if it doesn't move, if it doesn't change as you go, you can always just switch this to none, say okay, and then go back and put the fish in there or whatever picture you have and say okay, and then it should be fine. After that, we need a button that goes back home. So we're going to click on button, drag it over, and just like we did for a label, on the right-hand side, we can change the text here to say home. There's one more element we need to drag over from the left, and that is in the media category. It is called sound. It's invisible. So I'm going to put this here, and you can't see it. You can tell that it's here by scrolling down and seeing that it's a non-visible component. But we will be later in a different video attaching sound, a sound file to this and coding it so that when this page opens, that sound will play. All right. So I'll go ahead and let you catch up. So make sure you have all of this stuff here. I'm going to pause the video and I will be back. All right, the last step we need to do on each of our screens here is the home button. We need to code that to go back home. So in the blocks section, I bet you can figure out how to do this. I will give you a second to try, and then I will show you the right steps. Okay, hopefully you figured it out. We go to button 1 this time. So when button 1 is clicked, we want to do the same thing we did before, which is control and then open another screen. This time our screen name is not exports or whatever your title of that screen was. It's going back to the first screen, otherwise known as screen 1. Please make sure that your S is capital and that you do not have a space between screen and 1. That's important. All right, so now you can test your app and see if this button will go back home. You can also see on screen 1 if all of these lead to the different pages that you've made. You can continue putting content on those pages after you've started testing, and you can also code home buttons on every page back to screen 1. I'm going to show you how to test now. If you haven't learned how to do this yet, you just go up to Test and Thunkable Live. That's going to give you a QR code that you scan. With your Android device, you open the Thunkable app and you'll see a screen that has a blue button on it that says Scan QR Code. All you do is press that button and hold it in front of this QR code here. That will allow you to test your app. You're actually going to keep that connection so that you can make a change here and it will show up on your tablet or vice versa. So go ahead and test, and in the next video we will talk about adding sound to this screen.